Four most disturbing moments caught on live stream footage by Chilling Scare Chat.
Helps your
Lock
team
in.
manage any kind of work.
There's an ad, obviously.
Try it for free.
Just lock in, chat.
He doesn't love triangle.
Love.
I have this big.
On the 26th of August 2018, the gaming bar Good Luck Have Fun in Jacksonville, Florida was holding a Madden NFL tournament. It was day 2 of the competition, and the venue was...
That is one game I've never played. Never played Madden a day in my life. I know it's about fucking American football. Never played a day in my life. Obviously not, because I'm obviously from the UK, but I could play it, but I've never played a day in my life.
Packed, with over 150 competitors and spectators filling the space. The whole thing was also
Is it
being
EA?
streamed live on Twitch to a global audience.
No.
Unbeknownst to everyone
I'm sure.
watching, the live stream was about to come to a sudden, tragic end. At around 1:30 p.m., an armed man entered the building out
1:30 p.m. Oh, bit of broad daylight to be pulling that shit, bro.
of nowhere and opened fire into the crowd. The live camera feed just happened to cut to full screen gameplay just a second before the incident, but viewers could still hear the gunshots ringing through the crowded room. Inside the bar, everything descended into chaos within seconds.
Sorry, chat. Let's
Some
fix
players
this.
dropped their controllers and tried to find cover under the small tables, while others tried to make their way to the exits. Unfortunately, it was a small
Chat, I gotta fix this because it's like really starting to my tits in. Dusky's getting caught on this mic.
venue with equipment and clutter everywhere,
I'll
making
fix
it
it later.
near impossible to get out quickly. Luckily, the firefighters union was training in the area when the attack happened, allowing them to reach the site in just 2 minutes after the first 911 call at 1:34 p.m. They provided critical first aid to the victims who managed to escape the building, but they couldn't go inside to look for more survivors. They were completely unarmed. And while the shooting had stopped by then, the suspect was likely still inside. Fortunately, the police arrived just
Why? I don't get why he'd like go in and shoot in that place unless he's got ulterior motives. Because you think if he's robbing the place, he wouldn't do it there. He wouldn't go and shoot in there. He would rob somewhere else.
a few minutes later. They began sweeping the building immediately to find and apprehend the attacker before he caused any more harm. By the time officers reached the tournament venue, however, he was no longer breathing. Inside, officers found the remains of 3 people, two
Oh,
of
no.
which belonged to the victims, 22-year-old Elijah Clayton and 27-year-old Taylor Robertson. The third person in the room was the attacker, who turned his weapon on himself
So he committed suicide. He just blew his own
after
brains out.
committing the crime. However, what surprised investigators even more was when they ran an ID check on him and discovered who he was. As it turned out, the attacker was 24-year-old David Katz, a professional Madden player who was competing in the same tournament just 5 minutes before the incident.
Why? So what? He ran out, grabbed a gun, and came in and just shot everyone.
This left investigators wondering how the situation got out of control so quickly.
Did he
The
lose?
more they learned about David, the more it all made sense.
As
He
he
was born as the second son of a highly educated and stable family. His father, Richard, was a NASA engineer, while his mother,
So he had it brilliant. What is going on? What motives did this guy have? He was a world-class fucking pro at gaming. He had a good family. His dad worked at NASA.
Elizabeth, worked as a toxicologist for the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
His mum was an absolute some scientist. I don't know what that's called. I don't know what she actually is for some.
Unfortunately, David suffered from mental health issues ever since he was just 9 years old, which became a major point of contention between his parents. Elizabeth wanted to give him antipsychotic medication like Risperdal, while Richard was completely against the idea. This disagreement became one of the reasons behind their divorce in 2007, when David was just 14 years old. His custody was granted to Elizabeth, and that's where everything went wrong. David spiraled out of control after the divorce and locked himself in his room. He missed long stretches of school, and when he did attend, he stayed quiet and avoided interacting with his classmates.
You reckon that's why he's probably pro at games? He's just sat in his room and played games all day. Most likely.
Instead, he spent most of his time playing competitive games like
There's my
Madden
answer.
in his room, which later paved the way for a professional career. However, his mental health also kept getting worse during this time. He was prescribed antidepressants by a psychiatrist and was also sent to mental health facilities on 2 different occasions. And unfortunately, he didn't have the best time living with his mother either, with him even sending a handwritten letter to a judge to request a change of custody after his 16th birthday, stating, "Today is my birthday and I'm turning 16 years old. I live with my mom and have been wanting to live with my dad. My mom is pretty crazy. She's called the police on me about 20 times for pretty much nothing, like coming home a little late or something. She also gets drunk and starts yelling at me and poking me and doesn't leave me alone and always takes my stuff because she feels like it."
So she's a scumbag of a mother from the sounds of it. It sounds like she's trying, but she just can't help herself.
She has twice sent me to mental hospitals and once to a wilderness therapy program for no
What?
significant reason. I also can never talk to her anymore because I hate her more than anything in the world. All of these problems
So I did
left
have
David
ulterior
with
motives.
deep-seated mental health issues that persisted as he became an adult. He came across as extremely standoffish and rarely got along with other pros in the competitive Madden community. His relationship with Elijah was especially bad, with the two often clashing with each other at tournaments. Elijah also posted David's Madden strategy guide online for anyone to download for free, which
So this guy's a dick and all. No him. The other boy, the coloured boy. He's a dick and all. He's just fucking being a not. I can't say that. He's just being an absolute tosser.
only made David feel more resentful. This all came to a head on August 26, 2018, when, after losing to Elijah, David stormed out of the building and returned a few minutes later with his firearm. David had brought his
Oh,
guns
so just
with him
lost
on
it.
the trip, so it's unclear if the attack was premeditated or a spontaneous reaction to the loss. One thing that was clear, however, was that Elijah was his primary target. Viewers of the livestream even saw a laser hitting Elijah's chest moments before David opened fire. Besides Elijah and Taylor, David injured 10 other people during the attack. Fortunately, none of
So he just fucking unloaded on Elijah and just injured the other 10 people.
these other victims' injuries were fatal, and they all managed to survive without any lasting physical harm.
What a happy family photo, eh? Just, I've been shot in the chest. Like, what are you smiling for? Why is everything on mute?
For the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day
The Katmai National Park in Alaska is home to dozens
That
of
was
strategically
beautiful.
placed cameras to observe the local brown bear population. Feed from these cameras is also live streamed on the internet, mainly
Yeah.
for education and entertainment. Viewers
Stop
tune in
biting
to
my
watch bears
lips and
compete
that
for the
mouth.
best fishing spots and get ready for hibernation. But in September 2023, one of these live streams ended up serving a much greater purpose. On the 5th of
Like
September, the camera mounted on the peak of Dumpling Mountain showed a man emerging from the dense fog. He was likely a hiker who had climbed the mountain earlier that day, but had become lost and stranded due to extreme weather. And it wasn't looking good. He was soaked to the bone and was visibly shivering with each step. However, with the little strength he had left, he approached the camera and said something into its mic. It was extremely windy, making his words almost impossible to hear. Fortunately, the one word viewers were able to make out was the most important one. Viewers contacted Explore.com, the company that operates these wilderness cameras, prompting an immediate search and rescue mission for the hiker. But here's the thing, this whole incident was nothing short of a miracle. It was already incredibly lucky that the hiker spotted the camera in the dense fog. But not only was this camera
What does
live
these cameras
streaming
look
the
like? It's
footage on
just-
the internet, it also
They're
had
just like fucking hunting cameras. What they call the game? What they call the game? It's not. They're not called hunting cameras. They're called something else. Trail cameras. Is it just one of those?
19 live viewers. He could have easily missed the camera entirely, or the live stream could have had no viewers. Since
I
there
just
wasn't
wonder
enough-
who actually sits here and just watches these. That's got to be the most boring shit. I know it looks beautiful, right? You'd come on, look for it for about 3 minutes, and you'd go off. There's 18 guys just sat here looking at the fog. There's nothing to be seen.
much happening on the mountain at the time, and if that were the case, the chances of him surviving would have been close to zero. First was the threat of hypothermia. Even in September, temperatures on Dumpling Mountain can drop to near freezing, especially when accompanied by wind and driving rain. Being wet was also a death sentence, as
Yeah.
water strips body heat 25 times faster than air. If he was somehow able to keep moving despite these limitations, he faced the second risk, the terrain. The slopes of Dumpling Mountain are steep, rocky, and in this instance, wet and slippery. One wrong step in the fog could have resulted
He
in him
looked- he was
falling down a
fucking
ravine
gone, by the
and
way.
possibly suffering a fatal injury. And
Holy
with no
shit.
cell service on the
I mean, that's what I
mountain,
mean. Look at his fuck. He looks fucking red. Red as shit.
he had no way of contacting
Big
emergency
Baltic cold.
services. However, the most terrifying risk was the wildlife. Katmai is home to one of
What?
the densest populations of brown bears on the planet. In September,
Yeah, but I wouldn't think a brown bear would just randomly attack the boy, yeah, unless it had ulterior motives like protecting its
these
children.
bears are in a state called hyperphagia, which is a biological drive to eat as much as possible before
Oh,
hibernation.
never
They are
mind then.
active, focused, and most importantly, aggressive. A lost
Never mind then.
hiker stumbling through low visibility terrain was not a good combination. Luckily, he was able to avoid this grim fate entirely. Rescue workers reached the camera's location within a
So
few
would bears be up that high? He's on top of a mountain, mind you. Would they be up that high? They might be. I don't think they would though. I don't know. I don't know anything. But I feel like bears wouldn't be up that high.
hours, giving the hiker a second chance at life. All thanks to those who just so happened to be tuned into the live stream. One of the unsettling things about live streams is how unpredictable they are. There's no editing, no pause button, whatever happens, happens in real time. And unpredictability isn't just something we see online. Real life has its own version of it too.
Which is
Sometimes things show up when you're not planning for them. Sometimes you realize you've been putting something off for longer than you should. For me, when life gets busy, scheduling a doctor's
this is a
appointment is one of
sponsor.
those things that quietly gets pushed to the background. It's not that I don't want to see a doctor, it's that the process feels exhausting, what with calling offices and sitting on hold and all that. Today's video is sponsored by ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free website that helps you find and book high-quality, in-network doctors, all based on your own 2023.
I'll go back a wee bit.
On the morning of May 18, 2023, at around 9 a.m., 30-year-old
Wait, hold, 2019 they say.
Demonte Cheryl went live on Facebook. However,
I'm sorry, right? But so if you go live on Facebook, you've either one got to be a fucking 50, anywhere between 40 and 50 years old. You're a weirdo. Sorry, not really, but or you've done it accidentally. So one is one or the
the
other.
purpose of this live stream wasn't to entertain his viewers or make money. Instead,
Was it?
this was his way of saying goodbye to his family while trapped in
Oh, I've heard about this. No, I swear I've seen this before. He gets trapped in a massive fire. He gets trapped in a massive building that's on fire, and it's just like he goes live just to kind of say bye to his
a
family.
hopeless situation. The day started off like any other. for
Yeah, it's
Demonte
like
at
massive
his
construction site.
job on Liberty Road Drive in
And it
Charlotte,
lights up in
North
flames.
Carolina. He was assigned to the 6th floor and got to work not long after clocking in. Things were going smoothly until around 9 a.m. when someone started putting in the foam insulation on the ground floor. This foam mixture was created on site by mixing two different chemicals in a machine. Unfortunately, the foam caught fire from a stray spark, which quickly reached the main apartment building. And since most of its
Yeah, I guess it fucking gets covered in flames.
wooden frame was still fully exposed, the fire spread faster than anyone could have imagined. The entire building was covered in thick black smoke, with parts of the flame reaching 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Around 100 workers on the lower levels were
Fucking
able
hell.
to escape the building before it became this intense. Over 90 firefighters were also dispatched to the scene, allowing them to save 15 more people from the fire.
About
Unfortunately,
them
Demonte
two, yeah,
and
there
his
was two
coworker
people that didn't
Ruben
they?
Holmes were not among the lucky ones rescued. The only way down to the lower floors was covered in thick, pitch black smoke, making it impossible to see or breathe. All they could do was wait for help to arrive, something that was looking more and more unlikely with each passing minute. So, with no other option,
Did they die from the actual fire, or did they die from smoke?
Demonte took out his phone and started live
I'm pretty sure it
streaming
was
to his family
smoke.
and friends on Facebook.
Yo, I'm at South Park right now. At work.
Yo, I'm at that park right now. I'm gonna die. What are we?
Building on fire, and I can't get out. It's getting harder and harder for them to see us.
This was both a
He
way
is
to plead
bastard,
for
I
help,
apologize
as
about
well as a
that, I can't
potential
go over the
final
accent.
goodbye to his loved ones, although he hadn't lost all hope just yet.
Ah! Help! Somebody send help. We're at South Park. Help!
Sadly, the fire surrounding Demonte and Ruben was too strong for firefighters to do anything.
Actually, yeah, and they just couldn't get him.
After burning for multiple hours, the building eventually collapsed under its own weight, resulting in both Demonte and Ruben losing their lives. Later
So they died from it collapsing.
investigations found contractors and developers guilty of not following fire safety guidelines. However, they were let off the hook after paying only a few $1,000s. In fines.
Reduced from 6,000 to 4,685. So together they paid about $7 grand. 7,000 and I want to say around $7,800
GoFundMe to help
dollars.
DeMonte's family also raised nearly
It's
$8,000.
$8,000.
But no amount of fines or compensation could make up for the loss of a father of 4 and his coworker.
Oh no, he had kids.
Love Roblox? Earn Roblox digital gift cards with Microsoft Rewards.
He had kids, bro.
On November
Oh, that's fucked.
22, 2016,
I think I've seen this guy before.
19-year-old Anthony Gelia went live on Facebook from Jackson, Michigan. He appeared heavily intoxicated from alcohol and potentially other harder drugs.
He seems like he's freezing cold.
He was also extremely angry at something. However, understanding the source of this anger was easier said than done. He was waving his firearm around, drinking even more, and speaking words that were barely comprehensible.
You know what's funny? I could go over there right now and pop a pig in the head. I could go pop a pig in the head.
Oh, so why is he angry?
I don't even like my life. Hey, stop! I don't like my life. No laws, no nothing for me. I don't give a. I got one in the chamber right now. Stop! I have no
Who's with him? Is it his bird?
problem.
From what
So
the
it is.
viewers were able to gather, Anthony was mad at his younger brother, Noah. There was already a lot of tension between the two ever since Anthony's parents kicked him out of the house. But then, Noah apparently sent a threatening message to Anthony, which sent him off the rails completely and resulted in the Facebook live stream on November 22.
He's not.
Almost.
He's not fucking waving a gun a bit.
Almost. But almost isn't enough, right? Oh, there's a cop behind us. I'm so scared. What's up? What's up, Live? Can someone talk to me? Alright, who wants some beef? Who wants some beef?
He's got a girl next to him. He's got his girl next to him, I swear.
Alright, if there's just one of you, then I'll fight you. But if there's more than one, I'll shoot. What's up? What's up? I'm crazy. Guaranteed.
And the person that goes, I'm fucking crazy, is never crazy.
Guaranteed crazy.
Anthony spent much of the early stream making vague threats toward Noah and those closest to him. Now, this would normally be the end of it, but for Anthony, online
I take back what I said. He definitely killed somebody, maybe being crazy.
threats were only the beginning, because he next went to the house where Noah was staying and actually opened fire.
Okay, so he is crazy. Never mind, I take back what I said. He's definitely crazy.
While still broadcasting everything live on Facebook.
He done it live!
Maybe he just wanted to scare his brother Noah. Unfortunately, this plan backfired horribly. You see, the bullet missed Noah completely and went through the basement door on the other side of the room. Behind that door was the other resident of the home.
What are the chances of that? Missy's hit somebody else that's behind the door.
26-year-old Brittany Southwell, who was holding her 7-month-old baby at the time. The bullet hit her in the back before doing irreparable damage to her internal organs.
Oh,
She was rushed to
no.
the hospital as quickly as possible.
Didn't make it.
Tragically passed away soon after, leaving her baby without a mother.
Oh,
Anthony was
no.
arrested and taken to the police station for questioning. However, even after taking the life of an innocent bystander, he didn't show an ounce of remorse.
Is Sato laughing the absolute scumbag that he is?
Crazy. Who's crazy? Who's crazy? Who's crazy?
Stop it.
Who's crazy?
You have to be.
Go. Get out of here.
You're dumb. You're being dumb.
What's up?
He's no fucking right. He's an absolute scumbag at heart.
What's up? See me in the Aryan Brotherhood prison. See me there.
He went as far as to say that he could have killed everyone in that house if he wanted to during interrogation, as if that somehow justified or excused what he did.
So he's just sat there saying he's killed a person, right? But he sat there saying, "Well, I could have killed all of them, but I didn't." So you better feel grateful. What do you mean you better fuck? What are you talking about? You absolute fucking idiot! Oh, hello.
Anthony stood trial for taking the life of Brittany in May 2018 and was given a life sentence without the possibility of parole.
So he literally got life without parole. So he's in jail for the rest of his life. Fuck me. Anyway, chat, that's the end of the video. So W video.